Lesson learned. Let's hop into more viewer games, as we've got one here from Kyle. Sorry, I should be more fair than that. I should give him his full name. Fueled by Kyle here, who is Mile Killer, ready to represent the English on Dry Arabia in a Mongol-English matchup up against King Gray. Now, let's have a look quickly at like what kind of rank we're dealing with here. Mile Killer's pretty skilled. 557th in the world. No pushover whatsoever. And King... I think that's meant to be King Grayan. Aryan would have been cooler. 659th. So respectable ranks for both these guys. And this guy's Conqueror. So, you know, respect it as it is. Honestly, I think I've got some water on my mouse. I've really done it today. It's impressive the way I've done it. Anyway, let's focus on this game. This should be an interesting one. English versus Mongols. We don't see too much the English played out on Dry Arabia, at least at the highest rank. It's kind of interesting how frequently we're seeing it when we come like one little jump down below, right? When you move outside that top 200. And a lot of the builds have been kind of focusing on the Longbows, with only a few looking towards that quick castle up. Curious to see what we're going to get out of Mile here. Now, he said it would be okay to speed through some of this. I quite like that idea, as we can kind of lock on what's happening in the early game. You can see that Evid is going to go down on the forward. Generation is pretty brutal here for King. Gold's nowhere nearby. Stone's the front side, but he's still going to play in the outpost rush, and this is dangerous, folks. You don't do this against the English, and he might learn the hard reason why. The reason you do not rush the English with outposts out of any civ in the game is the worst civ to do, because when you arrive in their base trying to build up an outpost, they don't panic and click their villagers in, shivving you. They just get their little bows out and pepper you down. And this is where you should be seen. Miles. There you go. Villager pull straight away. Lesson learned. Runs away. Barely stays alive. You cannot do this against the English. Even with horsemen, it feels nigh on impossible to get away with this. Because once again, villagers out. Easy snipe, and you're done. And I think that presents the lesson, folks. Do not outpost rush the English. They outpost rush you. I wonder if he felt the need to do this because the spawn. Like, the spawn was admittedly pretty bad. It is. Like, not was. It is pretty bad. But you just can't make this play. Like, in theory, you can maybe sneak it, but it's very hard to sneak this. Like, realistically, an English person's going to move around the scout. They don't need to necessarily gather as many sheep as you do. They can always come back to base in time to scout out what you're doing. And if you get spotted at any stage, and that's the thing, like, usually English players nowadays will go for double scout, and you can see he did exactly that. And then you'll use one of them to just get defensive vision. Because when you're up against the Mongol player, the first thing in your mind is they're going to outpost rush. You could argue that it makes no sense why you outpost rush an English player, so he wouldn't look for it. At the end of the day, you know, with two people running around the field giving massive amounts of vision, it's likely going to be scouted out. Because even if he doesn't scout you out at his own base, he'll scout out this. He'll see the racks coming. And he'll be able to respond accordingly. And wow. Kin. I'm going to call him King Rain. I think that's what it was, not King Rain. King Rain here is in quite the rut. He can't easily play pastures because they have to run so far back. He's going to play on the deer. This will extend him for a while, but at the end of the day, your goal has to be to reach castle here. If you lag around in feudal for too long, I think it plays towards Mile Killer's advantage. And right now, Mile Killer's going to look to push that advantage. Moving out with the Longbows, he's going to look to dive in. And the problem with this is right now, you don't have very great defenses in this area. In fact, you can see the scout's giving the vision over. It's going to start to wrap in. Moan, the Longbows already have value up against the racks. The rack's the only thing to be shown so far. There is a stable behind this, but keep in mind that spears are also being pulled. So your whole formation is heavily discounted unless you now go for the Holy Trinity and set up an archery range as well. Drunk driving right there as someone ordered the pack up for no good reason. Looks like he pressed the wrong button. He was just trying to get into the horseman. I make that mistake regularly. AT, they're very close to each other when you have thumbs and fingers the size of giants. So I'm assuming that's what's going on there. Or he has the weirdest keybinds ever imagined in the history of Age of Empires. A whole other issue. It's like the Longbow going to be pushed back for the moment. Horseman not getting the best of exchanges so far, but King is going to try to go towards the base. Now, this is the good play. When you're up against Longbows trying to make this push, it's very predictable and allows you to cut off reinforcements. The problem right now is Mile Killer does the right thing here. He pushes Spearmen alongside the Longbows, so they're guarded on the way out. And now, with that station point, with the outpost being built up here towards the base, you can start to reach in. He's going to have to back away. Spearmen need to make their way out, and that is going to force them away as the Longbows will be able to strike down one of the horses. King Aryan, a lot of static defenses going up here. Blacksmiths as well. It feels like he's prolonged, but he's not. I've got to give him credit. Look at the resources right now. Food and gold being gathered up in vast quantities. Killer needs to get some serious value out of this soon, or he's going to find himself at a sheer technological disadvantage and overwhelmed by lancers. Spears. That's a freebie. King's not paying attention right now. He's going after the reinforcements, which means he's sacrificing his defense force. So good trade right there for Killer. Will cost him 2 Longbows. Still a good exchange. Now torches out as he starts to burn down the racks. And this would be the good time to attack him. I think he's trying to body block it. If he gets on top of it, it can't move. That's why Killer's going in. Nice move. And now you can attack. It can't move. Wait, what? You just let it out? Oh, no, Mal, no. That was a freebie. A Rax with no range resistance. And instead, you let it wheel away. It's going to unpack instead. He's going to have to go deeper, and he's losing a lot of troops in the process. Killer. The only thing he's running a mile to kill right now is himself. He'll back around to the south side, but the timing! Okay. I'm not going to try to assume what he meant or didn't mean to do. This did not look intentional. This is fortuitous for him, but this did not look intentional. Tech up might be complete, but the price is going to be high. King losing several of his villages here, now finding himself about 10 villages behind that of the English. I can't. No. Everyone right now is looking at this fuming, saying, that's never my game. But somehow, maybe it was a Spidey instincts just tingling. He senses it. He moves through, and it works out in a situation where it looked like he was just throwing away his army. Oh, good lord. Apparently the intention was to hit the goal, but he didn't expect the tech up. I bet you didn't. I bet you had the biggest smile on your face imaginable from it, though. However, you are now a whole age behind. The good news, at least, is your eco up. He's got a 10 villager lead here. Step readout will relocate to the north side. It looks like he's going to remerge his forces out the other side for free. As he regroups, it's going to be a sizable count on Longbows, actually. 10 spearmen as well. No archery range, just racks and stables, but heavily armored units coming out. And this is where it might be difficult to hang around in this age. Oopsie, let's not do the free cam. Don't do drugs, kids. Lombow's trying to reach in. Outpost crawl in. He's not done. Now we reach the classical English stage. Meanwhile, at home, his second wave is building up. Khan just trying to scout around and reinforcements coming in. Looks like siege engineering was taken as my killer is going to start moving in with the Rams. King Aryan. Step readout is getting good gains. He's building up a bulk force. Now, the play history for King Aryan should be getting siege engineering improved, and it looks like he's done exactly that. So double Mangonel and smash. Mal Killer loses his entire army. That's why Mal needs to move fast if he wants to get value out of this. Mal for Carl is exactly what he's ran to get to this base, and immediate back up and back away. I love how the Mongols can just counter TC rushes like this. Oh, you've got Rams? I'm not a building anymore. I'm a unit. You do nothing. It's gonna just keep doing it. It's like, oh, you can't catch me. Oh, you can't catch me. Oh my god. I love King. I love King Ray right now. This guy is entertaining to watch. Mal Killer, after all that, he at least forced a lot of idle time on the TC and the other buildings, but Rams yet to find their true value. The Mangonel's now coming out. That's a problem. Mal Killer is making his way up, though. It's going to be with the King's Pass. Just needs to make sure he doesn't lose the forward army. Spearmen clashing here. All gap close. And King Aryan, you've been good at packing up the buildings and moving away. Maybe pack up the siege and run away. He might run away a little bit too late here, in fact. Repairs. Oh, no! The torch! Damn. That was a middle finger from the scout. What an absolute legend. Still going to be a harsh wipe for Mal Killer. At least it's going to be on King Aryan's... Oh, I keep calling King Aryan. King Rayan's side of the map. Spearmen also getting really good value here because the Lancers are blindly pursuing and getting stuck in the mosh pit. This is actually a good trade for Mal Killer. He's getting rid of most of the Lancers, so a dive-in isn't going to come out afterwards. Instead, his tech up is just completely covered. And now behind this, stacking up the archery ranges to make a transition to crossbows. Moves towards his base. And I don't think King Iron's been here for a while. Seriously, King Rayan. Iron's just a better name, guys. Let's just agree this. King Rayan is going to be forced to commit here because he can't walk away or be peppered by Longbows. However, with crossbowmen now coming out, this can become detrimental fast, which is why he should look to back away. Instead, he tries to dive in onto the gold line. Could cost him. Maybe gets one villager for his trouble. Even that seems a little bit of a stretch. The Mile Killer quick with the peel back. Whoopsie daisy. One goes down before the garrison comes out. So one Lancer in there. And meanwhile, the rest of the man-at-arms are just going to back away as he looks to regroup. And King Rayan, it is going to be the prayer tent. This is a popular build. Prayer tent into TC a little bit down the line is still a possibility, usually around the 18, 19 minute mark. Curious to see if he goes for it, if he just tries to hard siege in. It wouldn't be the worst play because it would allow you to keep the lead over the English player. Like, you teched up ahead of him. Step readout gives good value. It would allow you to recover in this situation, to be honest. Like, 35 eco to 52. There's no doubt in the fact that Mile Killer's miles ahead. And okay. That Khan is miles from the realm of sanity right now. I don't know what he was thinking was going to happen there. Too many people have been drilling it into his head that he's the chosen one to lead the Khanate. No. Lead them to hell, maybe. You know what to say, good leaders lead from the front, so he'll be the first to arrive there. I really don't know what the hell that Khan was doing. I don't think he even knows. Do you think that have you guys ever thought about like whether units have like a conscious mindset of their own and we control them? Like, we can dictate what they do, but they still feel things. We're thinking like nice guy type logic here. What if that Khan is like, no, don't click at me there. That's a bad idea. Guys, can someone tell him to stop doing... Too late. That puts a pretty grim picture on the Age of Empires 4 world, doesn't it? When you hit the delete key on a unit... I'm going to stop there. We're trying to be a child-friendly stream here. That's getting too dark. Looks like Vision might quickly go dark for Mile here. As his outpost is going to start to be cleaned up. Wait. What? I was not aware of this interaction. He's taking stone from the Uvu. What? Oh, that's incredible. That is actually incredible. Thank you very much, Kyle, for drawing my attention to this game. I never knew that. That is incredible. It's like, oh, that's a pretty stone mountain you've made. I'm just going to take a few stones. No, please. You're ruining the feng shui. No, I'm going to take a few more stones. That is absolutely fantastic. Oh, my God. I would never have seen that in any other game. I think that is 1 in a million spot right there. Wait, that's actually an interesting strategy when you think about it. So you could actually intentionally go after your opponent's Uvu to drain their passive stone and also their ability to keep like double producing the area. It would be very situational. They'd have to have like an Uvu out in the middle of nowhere for the passive stone. But if you see that, you can snatch it away. Food for thought, folks. Food for thought. Definitely let me know about all the games that you failed to win because you hard committed trying to get the Uvu stone away from your opponent. Whoops. Sneak in. King Rayan. Responding to this. Crossbows and longbows spreading out. Mile Killer is one of those believers that says all pew-pew firing over a small group of people able to stab at a time is just better. However, the upside of all those people that only some of them be able to stab at a time is they're a lot more chunky than you. As you're quickly learning, army's going to be wiped. We'll have to back away. But the good news, actually, for Mile Killer is this just covers what he's doing at home. It covers this entire extension of a secondary force and the eco boom up. Remember, at the end of the day, King Rayan is playing from behind. 26 villages behind, in fact. And although he keeps cleaning up these armies, at the end of the day, it's still going to lead to an advantage for Mile Killer. And I wouldn't even try to assault this. Do not chase for the monk right now. You will die. Not die. You become very English, though. And that yoink. It's pretty good. Should be 2 relics to 3 in the end. I think one's already been... No. Hold up. We are missing a relic, my lord. Oh, it's 4 to 1. So that's pretty bad. Well, oh. Whoops. Rayan. Uh-oh. That's a freebie. Guys, we saw a wall log go off. Woohoo! Mile Killer. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. 120 resource unit, 50 resource unit. That almost paid for my monastery. Hell yeah. Oh, hell no. Oh, no. They are coming. They're coming. By the way, I think my favorite part about English people converting villages is they all get bows. It's the best detail, actually. The best detail imaginable. And it's even better by the fact that this English peasant is not an English peasant. They don't look like an English peasant. They're wearing Mongol clothing, but they've learned how to use short bows. That's what we bring, okay? So maybe, villagers, instead of being defenseless, you should allow us to convert you to Englishism. Because if you convert to Englishism today, we will throw in not just one short bow, but unlimited arrows too. That's right, you heard me correctly. Buy today, and we will throw in the unlimited arrows for free. Get dialing now. It's kind of like this idea of how the conversion works. Like, whoa, all right, I'm convinced I'm on your side. What happens then? Does the monk just like pull a bow out from underneath his robe, pump it like a shotgun, and pass it to you? Hell yeah. King Rayan. That's a very unbalanced eco right now. And it's admittedly because he's got 4 relics, but he can start trading. Wait, there's no marketplace. There is double TC though. So at least the lead isn't building further for Mile Killer, but Mile Killer is a mile ahead in this. He can kill the late game pretty easily because Imperial English cannot easily be matched. Looks like things are going to get quiet again. It's actually refreshing just seeing outside the top 100. Like, these guys are still top 1,000 players, but it's crazy the difference in pace. And this is like a cool inspirational detail for people because I think a lot of people see the beasties, the Kazvas, the way that they play, the pace at which they play, and they think that high rank is unattainable and the improvement is unattainable. But these guys are at 600 rank, and it does feel like a very big difference. And that's not to demean them at all. It's just more to highlight that the rank of pro is like on a whole other level, and you can reach a point where you can actually practice against them with like decent hard grind and a reasonable attention to detail. I don't think Mile Killer and King Rayan are bad, by the way. I just think like they would probably agree there's a very big difference the way they play the game and the way, say, Beastie or Demuslim play the game. They play the game with, I'd say, a lot slower of a pace. There's not as much... What's the word I'm looking for? There's not as much urgency about the way it's played. There's not as much like, I must extract value out of this one unit. There's more kind of a bulk up and a go approach with a lot of their fights. It is refreshing though. You do get like the big fights instead of the trickle in where it's like, oh, this person's clearly losing, but it's going to take 4 more minutes to do so. Instead, you can just get the big wham bam thank you man on both sides, which is quite fun to watch. I've still got that line going over on my second mono. I've definitely broken my second mono. Yep, this would be a good time to get an increase in viewership. Time to seduce a monitor manufacturer. Oh god, Mile, wait, what are they doing here? Sir, okay. You finally realize this is the wrong place to be. Siege in the meantime, slowly getting through the keep. No repairs coming out, interestingly enough, from Mile. Was that what the villagers were meant to be doing right now? Because they are definitely fired from that job. Don't have to worry about redundancy either because, well, they're dead. Sacred Sight's now being capped. Third one, very difficult to obtain. Love this sneak by Mile, though. Look what he got. He snuck an outpost in, and now the Knights start to ride in. King Rayan not paying attention to this. He's going to be stung as a result. Has to pull back from the step readout, wrap around onto the wood lines, but Mile didn't realize it yet. He'll step back to the guard, but no, go north. No value. Missed opportunity. Siege ball building up in the meantime in the center for Ray. Defenses now going up for Killer, the second wave here. Springwell's behind it with the attack speed buffer. Should allow him to trade out quite well. But Springwell count is now with Ray. Knights could still be a thorn in his side, though, so somebody has to be fully aware of. Going 2 times here. It's going to be a slow approach. Right now, Mile Killer, let's think about his composition. Spears plus crossbows up against this is actually really good. He just needs to get maybe a few horsemen. Horsemen would be really beneficial when there's this much siege. You can just wrap around quickly and just torch them down. I think that's maybe a missed opportunity at this stage. He would have to transition into it. So far, he's got a few stables on the backside. He did start going Knights, remember. Knights that have started to dive in now. We'll try to extract some value, but can't really get onto the eco lines until the Springwell placements make it a bit too difficult. In the meantime, Ray tries to move in, but Springel's now rolling out the attack speed buff there due to the fact the Khan's in range. No! Ray, no! The only reason they're getting the attack speed buff is because of the Khan. Now Springels need to trade out. Wait, there we go. He's going to target the right ones. We'll wheel it back as the pursuit comes in from the Lancers. Springels will trade out another one. Tech up complete though. Mile Killer, he covers his imp up, and Ray not with enough pressure just yet. March out in the meantime. Crossbows need to be careful. The Mangonels getting in range. Good peel back. Mile. Staggered formations. One hit does come through. Spearman. Feel the wrath of the Mangonels. And wait, Ray's too detached. That's a mistake. That's a big mistake there. Crossbows can stand their ground, but he doesn't realize it just yet. He should now, though. He's got vision over this. He sees how far away the Mangonels are. Bad trade coming out for Ray. All the while, rather, you can see Miles starting to wrap around, beginning to restrict his opponent, block him in somewhat. Mangoes continue to pursue. This very well could turn into some bombards soon. In fact, it's going to be more Springels, but Shudder Triggers is on the way. Just needs to make sure he doesn't freely wheel in range of this. Mangoes are taking too long. Ray, he either needs to reach up or reach in, because this pace is not going to cut it. Miles is fully going to unlock his tech up and the potential of it. And at that stage, Ray is going to be an entire army and an entire rage behind. An interesting choice of the Berkshire on the backside. I guess it can protect against flanks, but this does feel like maybe a misclick. I don't feel like you need the Berkshire here. Maybe he was paranoid, he just wanted to save tech up, and he doesn't believe the Wingard pass. Wingard is good long-term, but if you're worried your opponent's going to dive in, this can be a great defense to, like, stagnate their approach. I feel it's a misclick, but if I had to justify it, like, the Wingard pass can easily die, the Berkshire can't. And your opponent right now doesn't have much in the way of long-range siege. It's all Mangoes and dive. And you can't dive a Berkshire with this army. Right now, he's trying to dive the base, but folks, this is not enough damage. Eco is more or less even at least, but like you haven't really put an end to him. Marlo's just waiting on the side. He's allowing this, because the Berkshire is now going to clean up. Yeah, I don't mind this. Like, it's not optimal if you want to play like true late game English, but if your worry is that Ray is going to try and end the game off the back of you teching up, it's not the worst thing in the world to do. I think it would be better to set up keeps and then just get the Wingard behind this. But like overall, it's not the worst thing to do. The way he does it isn't bad, is what I'm saying. Like, it protects his farms and protects the flanks. And if we're being totally real, Ray didn't build good siege. He just massed Mangonels and Springels, and that was it. Great for dealing with an army, not great for dealing with a base. And that's why now Mal can recover. Army more or less wiped. All the Mangonels gone. Springels are pointless. And crossbows are going to make quick work of the man-at-arms. That's a wipe. And folks, worst time for it as well, because look what Ray is doing. Ray's taking up. Oh dear, oh dear. Now Mile, he's not pop-capped, but he will march. Knights in the field once more. Trebs could start coming out, or even the bombards. He could push in because enclosures are now coming through. That's going to be a lot of gold going into the pocket of the English. Gold that they need to fuel this war. And you can see the confidence Mile had. I wonder if he understood what we just highlighted around the fact that the army comp was bad from Rain for breaching base. He just sat back. He allowed him to throw himself at the TC and do nothing. And he really did do nothing. Like what? He killed Iraqs, an archer range. Okay, archer range, some houses, a few villages. That's it. He didn't end the game in any way. And Mile can fully recover this. Tech up comes out, and this should be the signal for him to go. He's got surplus to work with. Bombard's now being queued up. And the beautiful thing about when a Mongol player does what Ray done here is their base isn't too far away, folks. Their base is very close to your own. And that means it doesn't take that long for Bombards to get into action. Cavalry building up on the side. They do have the attack speed buffer as well. Straight in on the outposts. Siege workshops being built up, but Ray is limited in resources right now. The gold is not looking good. Step readout's lasting for a while, but only 1.3k gold here. 4 relics won't be able to sustain you indefinitely. You need to get to a new gold vein soon. Be like Mile, be everywhere. He's been spreading out, never running out of resources, and now he can start to breach in. Bombards arriving at the front of the base. Ray needs something to show for it soon. White Stupa is unutilized right now. 800 stone. Where's he using this? Uvu hasn't been replaced. White Stupa doesn't have any military bonus near it. a little bit concerning. I guess if he wants cannon placements, that's maybe his fault, but cannon placements aren't going to do much against the bombards. Like, you can pretty easily reach in and snipe these out. It's 2 shots, so if you get 2 bombards, like, the cannons don't do anything. Yeah, this is a problem. Even if you get shot out, you can see how pitiful it is. Some of the outposts going down. 300 stone per for that as well. Not worthwhile. Maybe he feels like he can't go for spring ults right now because he didn't have them upgraded yet. He hasn't even got Siege Workshop here. This is where this is better value. If you send it over to the White Stupa, you can get the roller shot triggers improved. You have the range advantage. As it stands right now, you don't have a range advantage. Look at it. You haven't even upgraded with the tile range. And it means bombards can trade you out. Cavalry raiding in. Mile bided his time with this. Starting to mass the knights. Riding to the front line. Village is exposed here. Man-at-arms forced to engage. Crossbows coming in. Mild killer able to close upon him. The Springles are not getting good trades here. At least one bombard will go down, but so will all the anti-siege. And all of a sudden, Rayan in trouble. The front line in his base. He has to retreat. The problem with this, however, is when you play as the Mongols, if you have to leave your primary TC, you've already lost the game because that's where your food's located. All of these pastures now targets. Bombards rolling out. Ray trying to stabilize. More villages being butchered now. 93 eco and falling. Crossbows are going to back up as the bombards breach through additional outposts here, and the knights stay around to play with the villagers. The poor villagers that don't even have textiles. 36 minutes into the game with double TC. That's not what you want to see. And off the back of that, Mile can now make his way out. Confident with the damage he's done. Reducing Rayan's military count to all but 0. He'll back up and regroup and come again, because he's just shy of pop cap. Meanwhile, Ray is a mile off. He's going for the elite army tactics, but you have to have an army for the tactics to feel elite. And now he's packing up some pastures, moving away from the front line across towards the White Stupa. Will direct fire there, and Mile already has your number. He already knows where that is. Knights riding in. Where's the defenses? What? All right, that's a freebie. Knights just back away. You lose almost 2 knights, and you kill a bombard. I don't know about you, but I'd take that trade any day of the week. Speaking of bombards, more coming your way again. No outpost on the front line right now, but that isn't going to be the truth for long. This mild killer is pulling villagers to build up an outpost here. Ray, look at this, 1,200 stone, but no way of using it still. Think about the Mangonel situation. He'd double push Mangonels right now if you move to the Siege Workshop. And that would deal with the crossbows at least, but right now he has no solution to anything. Bombards getting through the outpost. Ray yet to wave that white flag, but you have to question mark, where is the defense force? Oh, that's right, they're there. That's the defense force. Maybe villagers make good defense force? No. Try that once in a game, Pigeon, remember? It didn't end bad. It didn't end good for us. Never do that again. Maybe the pastures are the defense force? No. Sheep are delicious and tempting, but only 12 HP. It doesn't take long to kill them. Yeah, I'm struggling to find the defense force, guys. Can you see it? I feel like Dora the Explorer right now. I can't find the defense force. Can you see it? It's around here somewhere. Oh, there's the defense force. Oh. That ain't pretty. That's baby force right there. If I go over you an entire mansion, these guys could not even defend a single room for more than a minute right now. TC down, primary on fire. Flood through coming out. I think this is it, right? It's been it for about 2 minutes now. Dora confirmed that when we couldn't find your army. Although you try to rebuild it, you just don't have the resources. You don't have the base anymore. You have nothing left. You're Ian Beald in this game. As Mile will start to build deeper in your base. There's barely any of it left. GG still not being called, but credit where credit is due. Mile, I think a critical detail to success here was the very lucky snipe out on the step readout being built up. That did set back the time for Ray. After that, I have to say Mile was in control for most of this game. He hit his timings. He the aggression up in his opponent's side of the map, made sure he mastered his own castle up, and from there on out was able to dictate flow. Never really being outmassed by Rayan, and never being faced. He understood perfectly that he didn't have to engage the army in his base, and that's why he walks away with the dub.